Your greatest love songs all the way from 2 to 4 every Saturday at Siesta Musica. Join Dream Car the Announcer at Siesta Musica every Saturday from 2 to 4 in the afternoon dito sa inyong nag-iisang himpilan, Cool FM. Mapapakul ka dito!
You're listening to Cool FM. Cool FM is a TVH Group of Networks radio station. Sondo's greatest hits are here. You are listening to Cool FM. Live from Cool Studios. This is koolNews Primetime.
Good evening, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. I'm Stephen Juan del Sol, and this is koolNews Primetime. To start off, as Vice President Sara Duterte leaving the Department of Education, Senator Sonny Angara will be replacing Vice President Sara Duterte as the new Education Secretary, the palace announced Tuesday. The Presidential Communications Office said that Angara will take the helm of the Department of Education starting July 19. Vice President Duterte resigned as Deputy Chief on June 19. She did not provide a definite reason for quitting and only explained that her action was not a sign of weakness, as it was stirred by compassion for teachers and students. According to the PCO, President Marcos announced his decision to choose Angara as Deputy Secretary during the 70th Cabinet meeting in Malacanang Palace on Tuesday. It also noted that Marcos emphasized before cabinet members the critical role of DepEd and the necessity for a leader capable of overseeing its operations. The PCO likewise said that Marcos expressed appreciation for Duterte's service as DepEd chief and that he anticipates a smooth transition with the new department leadership. In a separate statement, Angara expressed thanks to Marcos for his trust in picking him as the new head of DepEd. Prior to his appointment, Angara served as a senator from the 16th to the present Congress, or since 2013. He chaired multiple Senate panels, including the Justice and Human Rights Committee, Finance Committee, and Youth Committee. Angara has a Bachelor of Science in Economics from the London School of Economic and Political Science, and a Bachelor of Laws from the University of the Philippines, Diliman. He also obtained his Master of Laws from Harvard University. In an ambush interview on Monday, July 1, Angara said he is open to being the next DepEd head if offered to him.
Nagpapasalamat po tayo sa kanilang vote of confidence dahil nakita katrabaho po sila. So alam nila na seryoso. Pag trabaho, seryoso naman po tayo.
Would you be interested?
Open naman po tayo kung sakaling pinagkatiwalaan.
Senators have been expressing support for Angara to be the next DepEd secretary, citing his extensive educational background.
Senator Sonny is open now to becoming the next DepEd. Anong comment to those?
Well, that's good because I was one of the first, if not the first, to actually recommended him to become DepEd Secretary, given his competence, given his track record, given his experience in the education field and sector. But at the end of the day, desisyon at pasya ng Pangulo yan dahil yan ay position of confidence. Kabinete yan at dapat that person will enjoy the confidence and trust of the President. Whoever the President chooses, of course, the Senate will, I will accept and respect.
Iba ba kayong nagkikisip?
Mahirap naman magrekomenda ng sobra pa sa isa. Ugali ko yan naman pa. Kung may sinabi ako na o nirekomenda ng tao, yun na lamang yan, pero nasa kamay pa rin ng appointing power kung yun ay tatanggapin niya o hindi. Ano man ang maging pasya ni Pangulong Marcos, siyempre maluwag at bukal sa kalooban ng sino mang nagrekomenda dapat.
Sir, in the event na ma-appoint si Senator Angara sa position, what happens to his Senate seat?
The term of Senator Angara will be expiring in June 2025 anyway. So tingin ko, hindi na yan kailangan fill-upan pa sa isang special election na gastos lamang. So hintayin na lamang siguro mag-expire yun. So if the Senator will accept it, if he is appointed, there will only be 23 sitting senators.
That was the newly appointed Senate President, Cheese Escudero. Well, Senator Nancy Binay on Tuesday said that while she is proud of Senator Sonny Angara with his appointment as Education Secretary, the Senate is losing another lawyer when there are committees that should be headed by legal experts. In a press briefing on Tuesday, Binay said she is proud that a member of their group, Solid 7, the senators who stuck with former Senate President Juan Miguel Zubiri, even after he resigned from his post, will head a very important government agency. However, his appointment also means that the Senate Committee on Justice would need a new chairperson as Angara was supposed to take this role, she added. Binay noted that since other lawyers in the Senate have taken several positions already, like Senate President Francis Escudero, Majority Leader Francis Tolentino, and Minority Leader Coco Pimentel, there may be few options available.
Actually, yun din nga yung naiisip ko kasi dahil may kakulangan ng abogado ngayon sa Senado, may mga committees kasi na dapat lawyers yung magiging chairperson. So, hindi ko alam kung sino pa yung lawyer na incumbent na pwedeng mag-take ng place ni Senator Angara kasi si Sentol, nag-resign siya dun sa posisyon na yon, saka siya yung majority floor leader. Si Senator Coco naman, minority floor leader. So I guess baka yung option is either Sen Alan or Sen Pia, or baka pwede din yung minority floor leader magiging head ng isang committee like yung Committee on Justice. Or pwede din umpisahan na hindi na lawyer yung magiging chairperson ng Committee on Justice.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Tuesday named Angara as Secretary of the Department of Education, according to the Presidential Communications Office. Angara fills in the spot left vacant by Vice President Sara Duterte, who resigned last June 19. Several members of the Congress have lauded Marcos' decision to appoint Angara. In the House of Representatives, lawmakers from both the majority and the minority blocs, including Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez and ex-Teachers Party List Representative Franz Castro, welcomed Angara's appointment.
Well, wini-welcome namin yung appointment ni Senator Angara as Secretary of the Department of Education. So tingin naman namin ay okay siya in terms of yung sa mga experience, yung exposure niya sa education problems, education sector, yung knowledge niya, no, and also being one of the commissioner of the EDCOM, no, may malawak siyang karanasan about the educational system. So we welcome his appointment. Well, maraming mga perennial problems in our education system. So particularly, no, we want him to be on the ground doon sa pagtutok sa K-12 program, yung ating curriculum. Alam ko isa siya sa author nito, no, way back 2013. So there are challenges, problems na meron tayo dito sa K-12 program. So dapat magkaroon na yan ng ng evaluation and assessment, overhauling ng K-12 program. Second, yung alam ko he has the proposal for salary increase of teachers. So natutuwa kami doon, meron siyang ganung proposal sa Senate. So I hope hindi niya titigilan yung pag-support doon sa salary increase and benefits of our teachers. So yun yung pangunahin na gusto natin na tutukan ni Senator Secretary appointed Sani Angara.
Binay believes Angara would not have that much of a learning curve as he was a member of the Second Congressional Commission on Education or EDCOM 2.
Alam naman natin na yung, di ba, education is the great equalizer and napakalaki ng problema ng edukasyon ngayon. And Sen Sani Angara for me is the best person. Talagang naging bahagi siya ng EDCOM na alam natin ngayon tinatalakay yung problema at solusyon dun sa problema natin sa education. So, walang magiging learning curve si Senator Sani Angara as a DepEd Secretary. But at the end of the day also, nakakalungkot din kasi diba noong 2013, sabay kaming pumasok ni Sen Sani. Kumbaga sa bahay ni Kuya, una siyang lumabas at hindi kami sabay lalabas sa Senado. Nauna sa grupo namin si Senator Sani. At mamimiss ko din siya kasi siya yung seatmate ko sa session hall. I've actively participated dun sa mga hearing ni Senator Sherwin Gatchalian sa Committee on Basic Ed and dun sa mga resource persons na nai-invite namin paulit-ulit na parang there's really a need to strengthen our curriculum. And I think makikita yon as a reflection dun sa resulta ng PISA na parang may kakulangan tayo dun sa creative thinking pagdating dun sa pag-solve lalang-lalo ng math and science problem. So, I guess isa yon. And then patuloy pa din yung problema natin ng kakulangan sa classrooms at saka paano ba yung complementary ng public and private schools. Kasi at the moment, pati yung mga private schools, may problema din sila dahil pakonti ng pakonti yung nag-e-enroll sa kanila ngayon.
In December 2023, PISA said that Filipino students who took part in their assessment were 5 to 6 years behind in mathematics, science, and reading compared to their 15-year-old counterparts from most of the participating countries. In June, before Duterte resigned, PISA said Filipino students logged a mean score of 14 on the creative thinking performance of 15-year-old students, the second lowest among 64 ranked countries. Coming up on koolNews Primetime, President Bongbong Marcos Jr. to release the NEP for 2025. Senator Risa Hontiveros and Surigao del Norte's 2nd District Representative Robert Ace Barbers to call on the President on the Pogo industry. For the international news, Harvard continues to be violent on anti-Semitism. Finally, for entertainment news, Jin of BTS to enter the 2024 Paris Olympics as a torchbearer. We will be right back after a short break. Welcome back. Marcos' directives and policy guidance for the NEP include prioritizing food security, social protection, healthcare, housing, disaster resilience, infrastructure, digital connectivity, and energization. Under the approved NEP, the agencies getting the lion's share of government appropriations, including education, public works, health, interior and local government, and defense. Other top priorities also included social welfare, agriculture, transportation, the judiciary, and justice. Regarding expense class, the PCO said maintenance and other operating expenses are getting the largest share, followed by personal services, capital outlays, and financial expenses. Meanwhile, the PCO said the 2025 budget was based on the availability of fiscal space, implementation and readiness of program, activity, projects, or the PAPs, the agency's absorptive capacity, alignment with the budget priorities framework, and the Philippine Development Plan 2023 to 2028. Said the PCO, the Public Investment Program, 3-year infrastructure program, information systems strategic plan, and program convergence were also key factors. With Marcos' approval, the NEP is set to be submitted to Congress to be deliberated by the Senate and the House of Representatives. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and his administration must state their stand on the Philippine Offshore Gaming Operators, or POGOs, amidst calls to ban these in the country due to the social costs, two lawmakers said on Tuesday. Senator Risa Hontiveros and Surigao del Norte's 2nd District Representative Robert Ace Barbers, on separate occasions, said the administration must break its silence about POGOs, as investigations show that many POGOs are linked to human trafficking rings, kidnapping, prostitution, and even torture. According to Hontiveros, in her interview with Karen Davila on ABS-CBN News Channel's Head Start, said if Marcos can talk about the West Philippine Sea, he should speak even more about the POGOs.
I really don't know what he's waiting for, Karen. Yun na nga, PAGCOR mismo nagsabi, 5 bilyong piso lamang sa napakaraming rosy promises nila noon. Ang laki ng utang nila sa buwis. And then when you put into the balance all the social and now political costs of POGO, sobrang halos wala ng benefit, panay cost sa Pilipinas. So yeah, you're right. Kung unequivocally kaya niyang mag-push back sa China on the West Philippine Sea issues, bakit parang nagfo-foot dragging dito sa POGO? Okay, kung merong timing siyang hinihintay or meron pa siyang tinitimbang, pero ilang Senate committee investigations na ang ginawa. Dati yung committees on labor at saka economic affairs, at ngayon patapos itong 4 na taong investigasyon ng Committee on Women about POGO-related prostitution, illegal recruitment and detention, the Pastilla scam, at ngayon itong human trafficking, cyber scamming, money laundering, at yung posibleng espionage angle, tapos yung pagbebenta, pag-commodify ng Filipino citizenship. So ano bang iniintay ni Presidente? I really hope he will speak sooner than later decisively against POGOs, kasi it's a clear and present danger na nahahayaang mag-persist dito sa ating kalagitnaan.
Congressman Barbers echoed the same sentiments.
So again, I hope in the coming weeks, the President will come out with a statement on the POGO, considering that there are a lot of criminalities that have been happening which is connected to the POGO industry.
Yeah.
You know? POGO employers are the ones who pay kidnap, being tortured, prostituted. Some of them are even killed. No? So I guess the problem really now is in the decision whether we should stop this or continue allowing the operations of POGO in the country.
In October 2022, then Press Undersecretary Cheloy Garafil said Marcos was closely monitoring the issues on POGOs. In January 2023, Marcos said he was not rushing to ban POGOs despite suggestions by some groups, noting that a crackdown should be against illegal POGOs because legal operators pay taxes. However, last March 13, 371 Filipinos and 497 foreigners were rescued from illegal POGO in Bamban, Tarlac, which was raided for alleged involvement in human trafficking. The POGO was linked to suspended Bamban Mayor Ares Go, or Go Ping. The Department of the Interior and Local Government, or DILG, accused the local chief executive of having business interests in Baofu Land Development Incorporated. Baofu owns the land where the raided POGO sits. The DILG said Baofu, as represented by Go, who was president of the company, purchased 8 parcels of land in Bamban in February 2019. Go said she divested ownership of Baofu, but the DILG believed the amount she divested it for, 2.5 million, was grossly incongruent to her investment on Baofu, which was approximately 8 hectares of land. Senators believe Guo's real identity was that of Chinese national Guo Huaping, as the NBI confirmed that the fingerprints of the two personalities matched. These are proposals to ban POGOs in the country. Last June 11, Makabayan bloc lawmakers filed House Bill number 10525, or the proposed Anti-POGO Act of 2024, which seeks to revoke the licenses and ban future POGOs due to the social costs they bring. And now for the international news.
Turning to anti-Semitism on American campuses since the Hamas terror assault on the 7th of October, it will come as no surprise to many that a Harvard task force has found that Israeli students at the prestigious university are facing what's being called a dire situation, a preliminary report finding that there are frequent cases of social exclusion and that Jewish students face what is termed political litmus tests to participate in clubs and activities. Now, the task force was convened by the school's Jewish interim president, Alan Garber, in January, shortly after the previous president, Claudine Gay, resigned over that criticism of her handling of anti-Israel protests on campus, and of course that congressional hearing in which she was asked if calls for the genocide of Jews violated university conduct. She responded, "It can be, depending on the context." Well, Harvard is the second elite college after Stanford to receive official guidance that it should address campus anti-Semitism on its premises.
That was Benita Levine reporting from Tel Aviv. Former President Donald Trump called for Judge Juan Merchan, who oversaw his Manhattan business records trial, to toss the guilty verdict in light of the Supreme Court's presidential immunity ruling. In a 6-3 decision ruled on Monday that presidents are covered by limited immunity from criminal prosecutions for official acts taken while in office. However, they do not have immunity for official acts. According to the decision, under our constitutional structure of separated powers, the nature of presidential power entitles a former president to absolute immunity from criminal prosecution for actions within his conclusive and preclusive constitutional authority. And he is entitled to at least presumptive immunity from prosecution for all his official acts. There's no immunity for unofficial acts. In a letter addressed to Merchan, Trump's lawyers sought permission to file a motion to overturn the guilty verdict, according to the New York Times. At the end of May, a Manhattan jury found Trump guilty of 34 counts of falsifying business records in the first degree related to payments made to adult entertainment actress Stormy Daniels during the 2016 presidential election. Lawyers for the former president have also reportedly asked Merchan to postpone Trump's sentencing as Merchan takes into consideration if the immunity decision from the Supreme Court has affected Trump's guilty verdict, according to the outlet. Trump is scheduled to be sentenced on July 11, 4 days before the RNC on July 15. The outlet notes that while the request to have the conviction overturned may be a long shot, Trump's lawyers are likely to argue that prosecutors built their case partly on evidence from his time in the White House. He said the effort to set aside the conviction might be a long shot. The Manhattan case centers on acts Mr. Trump took as candidate, not as president. In response to the Supreme Court's ruling on presidential immunity, Democrats suggested that if reelected, Trump legally could go after his political opponents. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez responded to the Supreme Court's ruling by stating she was planning to file articles of impeachment against unnamed justices on the court. Meanwhile, for the entertainment news, Jin of K-pop phenomenon BTS will carry the torch for the 2024 Paris Olympics, according to a local media outlet on Tuesday, July 2. The K-pop star will soon depart for France to carry the Olympic flame, but the details about the torch relay location and schedule have not been disclosed. The singer's involvement in the torch relay is believed to be due to BTS popularity worldwide and the group's consistent message of love yourself over the past decade. Jin's agency said it will confirm the news as soon as it is ready. The Paris Olympic flame was lit in Greece and arrived in France last month. It will travel through over 400 locations in France, covering a distance of approximately 12,000 kilometers before reaching the opening ceremony venue of Jardin du Trocadero in Paris on July 26. About 11,000 people are expected to participate in the Olympic torch relay. Alongside Jin, notable figures include former Ivorian soccer player Didier Drogba, former French-American basketball star Tony Parker, a Holocaust survivor, relatives of Nice terror attack victims, astronauts, and sanitation workers. The 2024 Paris Olympics are to take place July 27 to August 11, with over 15,000 athletes from 206 countries competing in 329 events across 32 sports.
My spirit rejoices in God, my Savior, and I rejoice for his eternal life. I ask every Filipino family, please turn to Jesus.
A friendly reminder from the Philippine Christian fan-made broadcasters.
Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9 to 10. The heart is deceitful above all things, and desperately wicked. Who can know it? I, the Lord, search the heart, I test the mind, even to give every man according to his ways, according to the fruit of his doings. Jeremiah chapter 17, verses 9 to 10, in New King James Version. This verse of the day was brought to you by BibleGateway.com and the Philippine Christian fan-made broadcasters. That is all for tonight's Cool News Primetime. We will return for the early edition with Asphere at 5:30 a.m. I'm Stephen Wanag del Sol, and hang out with Mama continues tonight. Stay safe, and God bless the Philippines.